We're going live. It says this Haynaud is on the air. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching this from. Welcome to another phenomenal edition of Lunch with Len. What day is it? It's Tuesday, March 29th. I'm sorry, I forgot what day. I couldn't remember if it was Tuesday or Thursday. My brain is still up skiing. My body, the brain is up in the mountains. And we have one phenomenal guest on today. We're going to talk today about world peace, which is just an incredible topic. But first, let me just tell you just a little bit about the lady who's here with me today. Her name is Karen. And Karen, you pronounce your whole name, Karen Riordon Palmer?
Actually, you can just go with Karen Palmer. I that's my maiden name. So and Karen Palmer, the Mindful Media Mom. That's the best way to get in touch with me is Mindful Media Mom.
Cool. All right. But, well, you're also the author of a book, Global Kindness Going Viral. And in that book, you shared how you made a wish last year and started a global movement. And, in the process, connected with a lot of different people. I'm not going to go through the whole bio, and half of the people that are on here have heard some of it already anyhow. But maybe you can start and tell us just a little bit about this. And as you and I have talked, we want to talk about the global peace movement and all the components, the moving pieces that are there, and how people can get involved. And we can make this happen. I feel the energy, and I personally truly believe that we have a shot at making this happen in our lifetime. So,
I really believe it too. I really do believe that, I believe that what I said, with you this just a few minutes ago is that when we start to get together with all the different organizations that have been working on this, like tomorrow I will be interviewing the founder of the Master Shift, and also, teaming up with unify.org. Many of the organizations, the Shift Network, many of these organizations, when we become, united, we become a force of love and beautiful recognition. And this is what's happening with global meditation. On a global scale, things are uniting. And when we get together in meditation, on February 1st, over 3 million people were gathering together virtually by, they signed up with unify.org and James Twyman. And he went into a Syrian village and played peace songs with the most incredible, the top religious leaders were hugging and singing peace songs together in Syria. And this was all over the world. People were meditating. Thank you, Bob, for you were meditating too. And then what happened, a bigger thing happened. Over 11 million people decided to join in the march when everybody went to India. And in New Delhi, they had 3.5 million people all together, all the different religions coming together. And then 11 million people had, signed up and registered to meditate. And we did a wave, what's called a wave, a peace wave. And it's if you go to worldpeacepulse.com, you can learn all about what they're doing now. They are going to all the different, they have no political, agenda. They're not for any candidate. They're just for peace. And so they're going to all of the different rallies and they're sitting with T-shirts that say meditate for peace. And they're sitting in circles and they're just singing songs. And all over the United States, over 10 million people have, Vizride World Peace. Yeah, my husband says that all the time. But when we focus on what we really want, that is what starts to manifest. And James Twyman has been doing this. He's a beautiful, beautiful man, and has been doing this since the early 90s. And I highly recommend you go to his website. It's worldpeacepulse.com. I'll type it into the chat here.
I think I did, worldpeacepulse.com.
Yes, and then also go to unify.org. You know, they did a test with a wonderful scientist, Masaru Emoto, and they tested how water reacts to our thoughts and our feelings. And what we did, there were over 4 million people meditating on World Water Day. So this was with unify.org. And you see over 1 million people with the water barriers so are able to have water now. It's like we are making a difference. Get involved and start seeing all the amazing things that are happening, and you will feel inspired. And you'll know that, you know, like tomorrow when you listen to Christine, who started the Master Shift in 2012, you guys, if you go to my website, our website is globalpeace.earth, and we have the whole week of all the links are all up there for you. Tomorrow, I will be interviewing incredible guests on, like I said, the founder of the Master Shift, Christine, and then on Friday I will be also interviewing Terry and Bob Miller, and I will also be interviewing the Hay House radio producer Diane Ray. She's teaming up with us. I mean, it's just growing. It's absolutely. I say this all the time, and I'm not sure who quoted it, so I really should know who the quote is, but nothing can stop an idea whose time has come.
Yeah, that's a really powerful statement. I believe that's absolutely true. Hey, but let me get you to just take a step back for just a second and tell us a little bit about you. How did you get here? I mean, you have an amazing story, and it's so inspirational.
Well, you know, I struggled my whole life with the belief that I wasn't enough. My parents divorced when I was 10 years old. They never loved each other. I didn't know what it looked like to have a relationship that was healthy. And so I started to take on the responsibility and the limiting belief that it was my fault that they were breaking up. And I started to, you know, like oh, well, if I had just cleaned my room better, if I had just done better with my grades. So I became like this perfectionism, I was addicted to pleasing people. And it became like I attracted the experience of domestic abuse. And it just spiraled into, you know, I didn't realize that my thoughts were as powerful as they were. And I attracted the experience of having, because I believed that I deserved it, it kind of spiraled out of control. But I really believe that it turned out that, you know, to make the long story short, I stayed in a relationship for 6 years where I was physically, mentally, and verbally abused. And that spiraled into a drug addiction for me. And I ended up homeless and living out of my car. But I was at that time living out of my car reading Louise Hay, the book, You Can Heal Your Life, and Think and Grow Rich, and the amazing Wayne Dyer books. And so I was still hopeful, and I knew when I started learning about the patterns, when I started seeing that, you know, that I could change, when I started to realize that there were things that I could do in my life to change, then I started to change my life. But while I was homeless, there were so many people who stepped up and helped me. I mean, there were so many people who were the kindness of strangers, you know, would let me come and stay on their couch, and, you know, would bring food for me and my dog, and, you know, would just be there for me. And so when I was able to, you know, transform my life, it's just the beautiful ripple effect. When you transform your life, you get so happy and grateful, and you feel so you know, inspired that you want to share it and you want to teach others. And so, you know, I was so happy and grateful for the life that I've been able to create. I've been happily married for 20 years now. I have a beautiful 19-year-old daughter, and she's living her dream life. So we broke the cycle of abuse. You know, I was terrified. I never thought I'd be a good mom. I was terrified. I never thought that I'd be good at any of this stuff, you know, and I had to untrain my brain to believe that I am really good at what I'm doing. And so what happened from there, like I said, was I made this wish for global kindness to go viral. And I didn't really know how it was going to come about, but this is how things work. This is how the universe works. This is how manifestation works. You got to get super, super clear on what it is you want. And once you are super, super clear about what you want, then you need to start writing down why you want it. Why do I desire this? Why do I want this to happen? And then you got to take your hands off the steering wheel and you got to let go of the how and be ready for the wow. You know, you got to let go of saying to yourself, how is this going to happen? How is this going to happen? So I made one video. I started off with, you know, making one video, and I had people contact me from all over the world sharing all the beautiful things that they were doing. And that filled my book. I wrote my first book, and that became a bestseller in August of 2015. And then I found Periscope and Blab, and I found how I could use social media to really engage with the people who really wanted to hear my message, the people who had been through experiences similar to mine and really had been able to see how they transformed their life too. And that's how it just started. I just unite the superheroes. I unite the earth angels. I unite the visionaries, the change agents, the peacemakers. And that's what I do. I just bring everybody together and we say, how can we do this? How can we do this? Yeah, do you guys have any questions for me?
What I think is just absolutely amazing, and I want to point it out, is here's a person who was beaten down, homeless, and has grown into a leadership that has the potential to shift the planet. And you know, it is within our power to do anything we want to do. We just have to know that power is there. And so many people don't. They're afraid of it, like you were at one time. They think they're beaten down. They don't know how they can do it. They don't see the way.
Yeah, I'll never forget my first radio show. My voice was shaking so much, but I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. I was so passionate, and I had made it so that I had set the intention that I wanted to help animals. And when I set that intention when I started my radio show, I said, I got to get out of this fear that nobody wants to hear what I have to say. That was my big limiting belief. That was the big limiting belief. That was the big one for me. It was like, nobody wants to hear what you have to say anyway, you know, and that was because of my ex-fiance. I would get whacked in the face when I said something that was not in alignment with what he thought was true. And I had a spiritual gift. I've been an animal communicator and an angel communicator since I was a little girl. And he was an atheist. And so I had to be really careful, because he was always saying, well, prove it. And you can't prove, you know, you can't just start, you know, levitating. And so I was always really careful about what I said. And I started walking on eggshells. When I started my radio show, I was like, hey, this is freaking awesome. I can say what I want, and nobody's like gonna hit me, and nobody's gonna say anything. And actually people were just like really resonating with what I was saying. And you know, because I am an animal communicator and I have a clairvoyant gift, I'm able to put my hand on an animal that's been abused. And I think this is a God-given gift. I think this is something that, because I had the experience, I can empathize with the animal on a deeper level, and I'm able to actually see what they've been through so that I can help them to step into their greatness. And I do it for myself too. Like, I have to bring my hand to my heart and really witness what I'd been through. And now when I talk to teenage girls that are in the situation that I was, about to get, that I could have gotten out of if I was a teenage girl, and somebody like myself, I feel so honored that I can be that voice to somebody. If somebody, just happens to hear my story and in any way it brings them any kind of enlightenment, I just feel so honored for that.
It's an amazing story. It really is a really incredible story. So Bob's asking a question about hashtag registration site again.
It's Tweebs, TWUBS.com. And when you go to Tweebs.com, if you find a hashtag that you find that really resonates with your message, like mine was global kindness, and nobody had it. Nobody had that hashtag. So you can register a hashtag and you will be the registered owner, so that you can have Twitter parties and you can use that with YouTube. You can align it with all kinds of, but now everybody who starts using that hashtag is in conjunction and is also categorized with your ideal clients, with your ideal, the people that you want to be in front of, your ideal audience. So when you use the correct hashtags, like I did with Global Peace going viral, I started using Global Peace going viral. I started using Global Peace Week, and I don't know who started using it with me, but everybody else started using it too. But the thing, like I said to Bob, is no, you don't have to pay $79. You can register up to 20 tweebs for free. Yeah, it's you can register. You can do a full registration. That's different. But you can do it for. There's a you can register up to 20 that are free, unless they change the rules again. I don't know, but I don't think that was for me. That's what it was.
So let's back up to the global peace movement again now, okay?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that if I go tell people, hey, we're all going to sit around and meditate, and that's going to create peace on earth, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, well, geez, you're smoking some really good stuff. Why don't you give me a hit of that stuff? But yet there is data. You mentioned Syria, you mentioned India. There really is data to support that we have the ability to shift the consciousness of this planet.
Absolutely. They've proven when they start working with children, that's what I do. I work with children, that I teach mindfulness and meditation to children and yoga. So when we actually, if we were able to teach children how to meditate and how to really connect with compassion and empathy at 5 years old, if we taught every 5-year-old, we would wipe out any kind of war, hatred within one generation. If we could just get this in the schools. This is what I've been working on for 20 years. If we could just get this in the schools, and then what happens is it's a ripple effect. See, when I teach the children, and then they teach the parents. It's really gentle when it comes from your grandchild or your own child, and so it's really simple. And I designed a board game that's called Let's Save Our Earth, and that's how I got started going into the schools, and that's how I got started with my nonprofit organization. So what I do is I'm an environmental educator. So I go into the schools. I started Earth Day over 15 years ago when my daughter was in kindergarten, now she's in college, because there was no programs in the school. And so I realized that I made these awesome games and I wanted to, you know, bring them into the schools, but they had no budget, and there was no budget for that, and they had no time for it. So I started my own nonprofit organization so that they could purchase the games, and, you know, I could have them donated through other nonprofit organizations. So that's how I started. That's basically how this whole thing started 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago, when my daughter was, well, actually, when I got married, and I found out that I was having a baby, I was, like I said, I was terrified that I wasn't going to be a good mom. And, you know, that old tape was playing in my head. I'm not good enough. What are you thinking? How can you bring a child in? You know, all these old tapes that play in your head. And I just kept reading my Louise Hay and reading my Wayne Dyer and doing my reprogramming. And, you know, that's how I became an NLP practitioner, was I had to work on myself. That's how I became a Reiki master. I had to do it on myself first, you know. And so, you know, I started to learn all of these things, and then I started to see them affecting my life, and I wanted to bring it to the schools. You know, I was really excited to bring it to the schools. And so that's how that started. And now we have, it started with 2 families in a park, and now we have over 2,000 people coming together for Earth Day in April.
So if we're truly going to create peace on Earth, we clearly have to deal with some pretty thorny issues.
Right.
We have governments that are fundamentally unresponsive to the people.
Yeah.
We have blights like ISIS.
I know.
How do we get past that? How do we truly
See, that's where Esther and our movement has started, and I think it really resonates with a lot of people, because so many people feel helpless. But really, the truth of the matter is that if you are, you know, finding your own inner peace, and you are radiating your own energy out. This has been proven in Power versus Force by David Hawkins, that one person who is radiating love and peace and non-judgment, that means no judgment, you know, just being accepting of what's happening and trusting. One person counterbalances 90,000 people who are in the lower vibrations that calibrated in hatred, bigotry, and fear. So those lower vibrations are neutralized when more and more of us get into inner peace. So it's inner peace for world peace. And so think about that, Len. If you and I stay focused on being peaceful, thinking positive thoughts, not judging anybody, and really letting ourselves know that there's a divine, bigger plan, something that we can't see, something we can't understand, and really just being neutral, we will help to counterbalance 180,000 people together. That's why global meditation works.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So where do we go from here? How can people get involved? What can they do to help? What would you tell?
The best thing that they can do is, like I said yesterday, they can go to my website. They can go to the website that we have. Wait a second. This one is the one you can go to. Global. I just put it up there. globalpeace.earth, and there is a free toolkit that you can get, that's Inner Peace for World Peace Toolkit. So you can go, this is a separate link that you can go to global TV/. This one I had to make a pretty link for it so that it was easy for people when I talk about it on shows. But you can go to that globalpeace.earth/week and Global Kindness TV. Oh, dang it, I didn't put the .org. Let me try again.
While you're doing that, Larry, you said yes, please share, Len, and I don't understand I don't understand the question, Larry, or is there a question? Help me out here, Larry. And does anyone have any other questions for Karen? Does anybody want to come over and interact? Can anybody hear me?
So I highly recommend that you go to those websites and check out all the different things that are happening this week, and get involved for the next one. Like I said, we're going to have April 18th to April 22nd. We'll be doing this in honor of Earth Day, and we're also going to be teaming up with 1 billion random acts of kindness. There's an organization that Julian Lennon has been involved with that's called the White Feather Foundation. There's so much happening, Larry. There's just, Len, there's so much happening. I was answering Larry too, but there's so much happening in the world.
Oh, no.
There's so much happening in the world. Just start Googling world peace, and you'll see there's so many people that are on this mission with us.
When we sit down in front of the television, which by the way I don't do anymore, but you look at the television, you look at the newspapers, you look at the media, etc., you're just inundated with negativity. What's the real? How much negativity versus positivity is there really out there in the world?
I really believe that what it is that's why I'm working on trying to take the media back. I really believe that when we, as a grassroots organizations, come together and we start to take our media back, which is owned by 1%, and we are only getting shown certain things to scare us. They're trying to keep us in a fear-based mentality. Right. And when I go to the news station, this is what's so true. This is the truth. When I go to the news station and I tell people, we have Earth Day, we have all this great stuff happening, I get a blurb in the newspaper. But if I was doing something that was illegal or something that was wrong, I would be front page news, you know? And so this is where all of this kind of stemmed from me. First of all, because I was going into the schools and I was feeling like, there was such a bureaucracy against having these schools, the schools had these systems in place, and they weren't teaching these certain things. And I really believe that when you start to connect with the parents, then if the parents start to be interested in what you're saying, they'll start to have you back at the school. And so it's the same thing for me. Like, this is why I started using social media, because I know, like, the newspaper is more interested now in what we're doing because we have more of a following. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the more that we build our audiences, and the more we build our following, and the more we connect with other people who have an audience and other people who have a following, the stronger we become, and the more we become a reality to the media.
I recently heard a number that I don't know that I believe it or not. I can't validate it. But a number that said that really there's only 2% negativity in the world, but that's all you hear about on the media. Do you have any feeling for that at all?
I don't know that statistic either, but my feeling is that's the truth. Because for all that I've been doing, for all the years that I've been doing this, I've been struggling to get into the media and to get, this message out. And it does go on deaf ears in our media. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And from the point of view, I think if you talk to any other nonprofit organization, I'll ask Christine tomorrow. That will be my question that I ask her for the master shift. I'll ask her that question too, because and then my other friend who has the Unite for Good, that's another one that you can go to. That's awesome. They are going to be a channel that's going to be all good news. And go to the Good News Network too. Good News Network. I believe they're .org also. So yeah, all of these, look for the good news. Look,
Right.
Look for the good news and you'll find it. It's just like I said on Bob's show, when I started looking for kindness, it came to me from all directions, and the most important thing that I really had to get in touch with was my own self-worth and my own self-love. And when I started to see my own self-worth and my own self-love, I was able to take this message to the masses.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, Michael, it only takes a few powerful forces for good to displace a lot of negative vibrations, from Michael Pierce. Thank you, Michael.
Yes,
Cool.
Michael, that's so true. Yeah. That's
Okay.
so true.
We're about to wrap up. Anybody have any other comments or questions or want to come over? Let me know. We'll spend another few minutes, or we'll wrap it up in a couple. So I know you're interviewing me at 12:30 on Thursday.
Yes.
I know you're interviewing Bob. So when are the interviews for the people that are in our little circle here?
Yes, we have Terry on Friday. That is at 1 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time. I believe she said 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe that is Terry. If you can correct me, I don't have the. Wait, I do have the right here. Let me just grab the. Here we go. Let me just grab here the. Okay, so we have tomorrow is the master shift is on at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we have Anita Wing Lee, who is the founder of the Global Meditation Scope. And she's going to be on at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, we have Joey Aquilino, who is the CEO of Joey Giggles Family. And then on Thursday, we have Gary Williams, who is an EFT practitioner, and he's going to teach us how to tap for peace. Then we have Julia Hoffman, who is also an NLP practitioner and a healer, and she's going to talk to us about how we can heal our inner peace. And then we have Len Mooney coming up at 12:30 on Thursday, March 31st. Then we have Terry Miller coming in at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday the 31st. And Friday, we have the Hay House Radio producer, Diane Ray. Then we have Mary Pitchard, and we have Bob Miller at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is it. And we will be closing out on Friday night. It'll be Astra and I with Joey on the radio station.
Now this is 1 week right now, but there's another week in April. You're planning, there's a week every month, and then it's going to culminate in a month long in September. Is that right?
Yes. It's going to be what my vision, and this is Astra and I are still working out the details, and Joey, I'm going to be really asking for support this time. I did this mostly. I mean, you know how we get into that control freak model, where you're used to having everything done. You just do it. You just take care of it and you do it. For the Global Peace Week in April, I'm going to be reaching out to a lot more people. I'm going to be asking for a lot more support, because this has been a learning curve for me too. It's about trusting the universe to bring you what you desire. It's about trusting that the universe will bring you what you are wanting to attract. So in April, I will be reaching out to all of you in this beautiful community to see how we can do this together.
Wonderful. Cool.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to move this into, I want to team up with Julian Lennon. I want to team up with Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to team up with these top people who are already don't reinvent the wheel. Just jump jump in the car. Don't reinvent the wheel, This isn't my project anyway. This is the Global Peace Project.
Right.
You know? It was divinely guided through me. Yes, Terry, I'd be all over your help. Believe me. You're one of the first people I have on my top list. You, Len, Bob, I have you guys right at the top of my committee. When we start to have the happiness committee, you guys are going to be right there.
Well, we're happy to help. We really, I'm really excited.
Happiness committee.
I'm really excited. I see for the first time, beginning to see the vision that we really do have the power to pull this off.
I do too. I believe it with all my heart and soul. Yay, yay, yay. Where attention flows, yes, energy goes. Thank you, Nicole. That's so true. That's what focus is all about. It's just following one course until successful. And when I stay focused, I know that I'm able to accomplish anything that's been placed in me is for me to accomplish. Anything that's been placed in Len is for Len to accomplish. Anything that's been placed in Nicole is for Nicole to accomplish. And that it's been placed there because you deserve to have it come true. Every dream that's been placed in us is there for us to accomplish it, so that we can share and show and shine. It's share and show and shine what you came here to teach.
Love it. Beautiful.
And I love what Joan of Arc said. You know, one of the great things that I love about what Joan of Arc said is, no, I'm not scared. I was born to do this.
Beautiful.
Share, show, and shine. Yep, that's it.
I love it. I love it. All right. All right.
This is so awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We really appreciate you. We're going to wrap it up. Let me have just about 10 or 15 seconds here to tell the folks that are normally on Lunch with Len that on Thursday this week, I have an incredibly special guest. Not that Karen isn't an incredibly special guest too, but we're going to return to the fundamental theme of marketing. And on Thursday, I have Adam Chandler coming on. And it is not a selling webinar. It is a discussion and interview with Adam Chandler. And as far as I'm concerned, it's open mic. Anyone has a question they want to ask Adam, dig right in and share it with them. So Thursday's going to be an awesome Lunch with Len. I hope you will all come. And other than that, Karen, it's been I love having you. Thank you.
Too.
Thank you so much. And I will talk to you, I guess, Thursday afternoon.
Yes, that's going to be wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to watch. And thank you, everybody, for all your wonderful comments and for all this fun interaction. So grateful. Love you guys. Love you guys so much. So grateful for this beautiful community that you guys are creating together too. You know, that will spill over, and as we start to unite communities, that's what, like, the blab that I did today was with Scopers Unite, the founder of Scopers Unite and the founder of One Love Hub. So when we start to bring together all of these communities, then we become this beautiful force for love and light in the world.
And we're not stoppable.
No, nothing can stop an idea whose time has come.
Amen.
Amen. Have a great day, guys.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bye, everybody.